City News is brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers, Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation. Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News, Excel Rotorua launches their new e-learning project. The Rotorua Te Aroha Lakes program had a day of knowledge sharing yesterday, and it's almost your last chance to visit the gardens and experience music at the Rotunda. A new education initiative was launched yesterday by Excel Rotorua, a government-supported trial at improving educational outcomes for local children. The new initiative aims to establish a citywide e-learning community.
It is the tool that all of us have to be introduced to, and it's the tool that our kids need to be thoroughly immersed in.
So what are the hopes and expectations, especially from you being the head of project?
I hope is that we will create a single e-learning community for all of Rotorua, that all of the schools and ECNs will buy into it, that the principals will lead it. We'll have collaboration between schools and teachers. We'll have a greater connectedness between teachers, pupils and parents. We'll have strong community support, and we'll build a trusted education sector that will benefit all our learners.
Locals got the chance to see the work being done by the Rotorua Te Aroha Lakes program yesterday as part of an information drive by the organisation. The program is responsible for improving and protecting the water quality in the historic Rotorua Te Aroha Lakes and is a joint program between the RDC, the Regional Council and Te Aroha Lakes Trust. Program Chairman David Hamilton says lake water quality is improving with all stakeholders working together.
So David, can you tell me what are your dreams and aspirations for the lakes here in Rotorua?
Well, I'd like them all to be healthy, and what that means is that some of the nutrients are reduced, the nutrient inputs to the lake, and that the whole of the lake health is therefore improved. And as a result, some of the indigenous species can get a foothold and come back to where they were perhaps historically.
And David Hamilton says there is improved water quality in lakes Rotorua, Rotoiti and Rotoehu, and water quality is now stable in Rotomar, Okaraka, Tikitapu and River Whakaitu. And there are only 2 Sundays left to get along to the government gardens for popular Music at the Rotunda performances. And this Sunday, it could be a good one. The Rotorua Symphonic Band and Rotorua Highland Band are performing. The event is free and starts about 1 o'clock, finishing at around 2:30 p.m. And in sport tonight, local Chiefs rugby player Sam Kane will have his first taste of the Investec Super Rugby season when he takes to the field tomorrow night to play the Western Force in Perth. Sam's been off so far this season with a back injury, but he says he's looking forward to being back at number 7. Chiefs coach Dave Rennie says the Western Force is a team in a confident mood, so the challenge will be for the boys and they're looking forward to it. To your weather now, and the forecast for tonight is for fine weather, southwesterlies and an overnight low of 12. And a reminder that every Friday you can plan your weekend activities with help from our weekend weather roundup with Met Service, straight after City News. Still to come in tonight's program, we talk with the Flavoursome team representing the district at the National Trustpower Community Awards being held this weekend in Invercargill. We catch up with Tourism Committee member and local businessman Brett Marvelly. And Alan Solomon visits with award-winning restaurant owner Ray Singh to find out his secret to success.
Flavoursome Health and Fitness is a volunteer community group that won their regional awards way back in 2013, and this year they will be representing Rotorua at the National Community Awards in Invercargill. Now with me today are the two directors of Flavoursome, Leanne White-Haverkamp and Erin Thompson-Poe. So thanks for joining us today, ladies. But before we get into the awards, how did Flavoursome all start here in Rotorua?
Flavoursome started with me taking Zumba classes in about 2009, and then through that and through collaborating with other good friends and other women like Erin, we decided that our passions that we shared and the vision that we shared were very much alike, and we decided, hey, there's something beyond what we're doing just within delivering our Zumba. There's a need there within the community that we need to meet, and we found that people coming in through our doors wanted to do other things more than just Zumba. They wanted to do a walk, a run, a half marathon, whatever it be. And so we thought, well, we'll take the opportunity and let's run with it. We've never tried this sort of stuff. We'll give it a go.
So you had no experience in the health and fitness industry at all?
No.
Wow.
No.
And it just started from, taking your family out to do Zumba?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
So are you quite surprised, because that's been 5 years that you guys have grown, and last year you guys got nominated for awards as well. So you guys have been working pretty hard, and the fruits of your labour have come to fruition.
Yes. It has really overwhelmed us, the amount of people that have come, and then they're bringing in their friends, their family, first and foremost, and it's just great.
Yeah. What's your involvement, Erin?
Again, Leanne and I started in Zumba, and as we branched out, one of the things that we decided to do was challenge our kids by putting them into a triathlon, and so between us as parents we taught the kids all the skills of triathlon, and my strength was swimming. So in this last 3 years I've taught a huge squad of people how to swim, probably over 80 adults, non-swimmers, how to swim, and all their children have followed along, and then we've developed that into teaching those parents how to teach, so that they always pass the skill on.
Yeah, that's probably really important considering how many lakes we've got in Rotorua and the surrounding areas. Do you guys have a base of headquarters?
No. We really just operate within the community, and a lot of our, at the moment we're training for the marathon, so all of our training is around here or within the township, but no, we don't have a headquarters as such.
Let's talk about the Trustpower Community Awards you guys have been nominated for. How did that come about? Did someone nominate you?
We were approached by one of the members of our whānau, our Flavoursome whānau, to put an application for it, and so that eventuated. And we didn't really know a lot about it, but eventually we got this letter back inviting us along to the awards, and we actually thought that we were going there to observe what goes on. We didn't realise that our nomination was being included or being looked at in the awards process. And so we went there and we saw all these different groups and the amazing things that they were doing, and receiving different awards for the work that they were doing. We were just overwhelmed really, and thought, they're pretty awesome, they're amazing, and how could we possibly be on par, or how could what we do have a similar kind of effect for them?
Yeah. So what will it mean to you to when you win? I'm being positive there.
Well, what we were thinking is that it's a real acknowledgement to our whānau and the collective work that everyone does to keep Flavoursome a living organisation. So for us now, going to national awards is a huge acknowledgement to their work. Being named the national winners is just like the icing on the cake.
Yeah. Have you had a lot of support from the community, apart from Steve?
Oh yes, we've had a lot of support. Even this morning I've been receiving texts, emails, Facebook messages, just wishing us the best, and other community organisations coming in and saying, look, how can we help you, and local businesses as well.
Cool. That's exciting, isn't it? Now, if someone's at home watching and wants to get involved in some of the classes that you guys take, how can they get hold of you?
best thing would be to go onto our Flavoursome page. It's on Facebook, Flavoursome Health and Fitness. It's a community page, and they can message us either on the page or privately, and we'll take it from there.
Cool. Well, we wish you guys all the best of luck, because by the time this airs, you guys will be on the plane to Invercargill. So wish you guys all the best of luck, and we'll see you when you come back.
Thank you.
Well, we're catching up with Brett Marbley today. Now, Brett is on the Rotorua Tourism Committee, but we're also going to be chatting about the rebranding of his daughter Elizabeth Marbley. Thanks for joining us today, Brett. Good to catch up again.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the Rotorua Tourism Committee is obviously one of those important committees that we have in Rotorua, but what sort of things do you guys discuss, and what's the aim of the committee?
Well, the aim of the committee is to grow tourism, no doubt about that, and do things properly and have something with longevity with a plan. It's a pretty dynamic group of people. And I think we cover most sectors, but in saying that, we're all pretty strong-minded and good communication skills. So yeah, we get to the end of the result, which I think we've got to now.
Yeah. Now, obviously, important relationships like Destination Rotorua and RDC and things like that are important. How closely are you working with those organisations?
Oh, totally. They were with us the whole time. So as far as Oscar and his team, they basically sort of report to us, and we work with them on a day-to-day basis, really.
Now, the committee was formed in 2010, and the current chairman, Tony Marks, is just about to head out the door. So big shoes to fill.
Yeah, Tony's been wonderful. One of the big prerequisites really was to have an independent chair. That came from tourism itself. So we wanted to get away from all the political aspects that tourism had in the past, and Tony was an integral part of that. A very clear thinker with a lot of experience. So Tony will be missed. But in saying that, we've all learned a lot of Tony's skills, I suppose, over the last 3 years. So we've just got to replace Tony with another independent chair and move forward.
Has that process started already with replacing Tony?
I believe so. I believe there's... we're just going through the process which Council's going through, of course, at the moment, where they're going through a sort of a 10-year plan, and so we're pretty tired until about June of this year of taking that forward.
And obviously it's an elected position?
Very much so, yeah. And at present, Bruce Thompson from the Skyline, he's stepping in as deputy chair to chair.
Yeah. Do you know where Tony's off to?
No, I don't. No, he's on a lot of boards, a very busy man. He just thought that he'd been there for sort of 3 years, and it was time to let some new fresh blood come into it. And to be honest, I think that's good. You know, we've got to keep moving. Same as our committee members. You know, we drop off after every 3 years, which is also good. It gives the opportunity for new guys to come on and put their energy into it.
How long have you been on, Brett?
I will drop off this year. So this is my 3rd year.
So what have you seen over the last 3 years? What sort of positive changes have you noticed?
Oh, dramatic. Yeah, really have. I think the industry knows the communication channel's been great. The industry knows where we're going, and we've made some real good gains. We created the Famously campaign, and that's had good gains, and the momentum's there now to go forward.
Now, recently I've caught up with different operators in town, especially some restaurant owners, and some of them are a little bit concerned about the service of the waitresses and people that are in the industry. What do you think that is? Because obviously there's people that come to Rotorua, get jobs, and then they move on. So it's a very transient city. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, that really comes down to the operator. You know, they should have internal training, and that's a real negative if the visitor's getting that. Because yeah, we're part of the industry. It's all about hospitality. It's all about people. So if you haven't got the right people to serve the right people, well, you are going to be in a backward step.
Yeah. What do you think the solution is then?
Training. Very much so. You know, I think in the hotels and stuff, you definitely keep training going all the time, and you always got new ones coming through. But yeah, and sometimes people take on too much. If, for instance, if we sort of look at, say, each street, some of them might have doubled their capacity. Have they doubled their people on the floor? And if they haven't, well, then expect problems.
Now we're just going to change gears a little bit, Brett. Now Elizabeth Marbley, your daughter's changed her name to Lizzie. Is it obviously part of the rebranding?
That's her rebranding. She's always Elizabeth to me, and that's fair. You know, she wants to sort of become probably more approachable to the younger ones, and she felt that Elizabeth was just a bit formal, whereas Lizzie, you know, was more to them.
Now she performed at Lakeside, and from what we've gathered from all our viewers and everybody that was there, her performance was fantastic.
Yeah, I must admit I've had so many people, and not just younger ones, the older ones have said she was brilliant. Of course I sit there and I'm probably objective, and I thought she did a very good job. She's always been wonderful on stage anyway. She's got that sort of look at me situation, but in saying that, she performed it brilliantly, I thought.
Yeah. Now Dame Kitty's coming in May, Brett. What's your involvement with her when she comes to the city?
Not sort of direct involvement. We have always sort of utilised the stars that come into the Civic, and of course we were directly opposite the Civic. We did a lot of pre-dinner shows and things like that, and also post people come across and have a cheese board or a glass of wine. So yeah, that's really our direct involvement. So we're there for the people, but saying that we also market out of town for Dame Kerry, so we would have a dinner show package, so accommodation, dinner and show. And we bring a lot of people out of Auckland or all the surrounding areas. We'll stay at the Princess Gate, walk across the road for the show, have dinner, and then go back home again.
That sounds like a good night out.
It's fantastic, and they see everything. They see a beautiful old hotel, and they see the stars, so it's great.
Ever thought about maybe towards in the future having Dame Kitty and Lizzie performing together here in Rotorua?
I don't think Dame Kitty would do that anyway. And they're two different genres now. Lizzie's really going for the pop, and of course Dame Kitty is totally classical. Elizabeth's sung many times with Dame Malvina, and has always enjoyed that. So as far as that's concerned, I think that would be a no-no at the moment anyway.
Good stuff. Thanks,
What's to happen?
Good
Thank you.
Recently there has been issues raised about the quality of service here in Rotorua, and today I'm going to be catching up with Ray Singh. Now Ray is the owner of the award-winning Indian Star restaurant here in East Street, and he believes he has the secret to keeping good service in the restaurant, so we're going to find out a little bit more from Ray right now. Hi Ray, thanks for joining us today. Now obviously being here at TV Rotorua, we get to talk to a lot of different tourist operators and restaurant owners, and one of the things that they said they noticed is because we are a #1 tourist destination in New Zealand, we need to have high levels of service within the industry. So obviously being here at Indian Star and one of the top restaurants in Rotorua, how do you keep that service to a level that when people walk in your door they can expect, like I said, that top-notch service?
Yeah, as you know, hospitality industry, it depends on 3 different things, which is the quality, cleanness and the service. Service is the top part of the hospitality, which is the backbone of that hospitality. If you don't have a good service, so it's not really good it's not as successful. So it comes from the vast experience and the qualified staff and the well-trained staff. So that's why we're providing the excellent service, outstanding service.
So with your staff, do they go away and do some service courses on how to serve, or do you teach them here in-house?
Yes, time to time we do that. So sometimes we organize that classes with the Wairiki Institute. Sometimes they come here to just give us the tips about the service. And sometimes we have a seminar with the Restaurant Association New Zealand. So yes.
Yeah. Because Rotorua is a holiday destination, and there's a lot of people that come and go. It's a fairly transient town in the service industry. How do we fill that gap when people get trained up here over the holiday season and then move on to another city or another country, whatever? How do we keep that consistency through the industry?
The thing is, if you look after your staff and you train them well, and then look after them well, and then they won't go away for a while, for a few years. And if they're happy with you, then they won't go away. You need to keep them happy and look after them. So that's the main point. That's the main issue.
Now you mentioned there was 3 qualities, to obviously having good service, and the other 2 were quality and cleanliness.
Yes.
So again, that obviously has to be important in this industry.
It is very, very important. So if you see that this is, as you say, the Rotorua is a top destination, and the tourists comes from all over the world, and they check all that, everything. They they check cleanness, they check the quality of food and the service, of course.
Now, almost out of time, Ray, but as you can see, Eat Street is almost finished. You have to be happy because it's been a long few months, hasn't it?
Yes, I'm just very excited about this, and finally it's now nearly finished, and there's still a couple of weeks to go. And once they're finished, it will be awesome. And it's good for all the business on the street, good for Rotorua, and good for everyone here.
It's interesting that you say that. What about the restaurants outside of Eat Street? Do you think they may be feeling nipped down or maybe a little bit left out because there's obviously no Eat Street there?
I think it's if you think about those things, so you can't cover with everything. We are missing something here, and they are missing something there. You know, the people in the next block or maybe in a central mall, they have a lot of foot traffic. You know, so we are missing those things this side, but those people on that side are missing Eat Street. You know, so. We can't make even everything, you know, so everywhere. So I think it's good for the town. That's the main thing. If someone missed out, we can't put everyone on Eat Street, you know. So otherwise, we have to make a whole Rotorua Eat Street.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, would it?
Yeah, that would be a good idea. If
they council a bit, though.
Yeah, yes, yeah. But if you see, there are some people, they don't want to pay anything. We are paying for this ground, eh? So, but some people, they don't want to contribute even a single penny. But I'm always at the front when it comes to expand or contribute against those things.
Right.
So, I'm happy with that.
Good stuff. Nice talking with you, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
If you'd like to see our City News show again, you can visit the website tvrotorua.co.nz, and to call the channel and talk to one of our team, feel free to call 07 3488 984. Thanks for watching and enjoy your weekend.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News was brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers, Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.